Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's May 19th, 2025. I guess that's the year, that's the day. My mind's still in a bit of a phase and a phase. Yeah, my mind is there. I probably could stop this and start it over, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now, so I might as well go from there. Well, this isn't the video I wanted to do, and this isn't, well, yeah, I wasn't planning on taking yesterday off, but as you know, maybe some of you know by now, I did put a post out yesterday, and so that's kind of what I want to talk about a little bit today. Well, actually, a lot today. That's kind of what this whole video is going to be about. If we're honest, that's where I'm at. So, yesterday at 1 o'clock in the morning, my mother passed away. And she had been suffering from Lewy body dementia. And so that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. So, if you're interested, keep watching. If you're not, I get it. I understand. And maybe the next video will be more interesting to you. But if you're finding me for the first time, this isn't really what my videos are like every day, and the topics that are like every day. But I do kind of do a daily vlog. So you get to see the hobbies that I am active in. You get to see some of the festivals I'm lucky enough to go to. Some of the vacations that I've taken. I take you along the way. So today we're just going to talk about what's been going on in my life. And you can like, you can subscribe, you can leave positive comments, you can share with other people. You can do not turn off the video if you want, but this is what's been going on. So, both my parents have dementia. I guess I should say that in the past tense now for one of them, but my father has vascular dementia. I did a video about that a couple weeks ago. He was willing enough to talk to me on camera and let me ask him some of the questions that were kind of hard for him to answer because of what that dementia is. So vascular dementia is relatively stable until something stressful or some massive change in his life. Then there will be a quick decrease in his brain capacity, what he can remember, things that he can do. So it's very important that we kind of keep the stress out of his life as much as possible. And so what you saw in the video a couple weeks ago is the way he still is now, because he hasn't had a mini stroke or a heart attack or something very stressful in his life. So he's relatively stable. Now, my mother, she had what was called Lewy body disease, which is another form of dementia, and it can sometimes present itself in forms of Parkinson's disease, and it is a degenerative disease. So all the time, she is constantly going down. The disease is attacking her, and her brain is playing tricks on her and doing different things. So, for example, her type of dementia, she would see things that weren't there. She would have dogs sitting beside her that weren't there, or a dead relative in a room that she would see, but of course was not there. So those are some of the things that would happen. Now, her memory was great. My father, for example, can't remember current things. He has a hard time retaining things that he reads. He doesn't remember dates, has a hard time reading clocks. My mother, on the other hand, she was able to do those things. She had great memory, but her brain was playing tricks on her, and her brain also was shutting things down. So in the last couple weeks, she was no longer able to move herself. So she was bedridden. They had to put her in a special lift in order to move her out of the bed and onto a chair. Eventually, they stopped doing that. Her brain eventually would also tell her to stop swallowing, stop speaking. So she lost the ability to communicate anymore. We could see in her eyes that she was there. Eventually, her eyes just wouldn't open anymore, and her throat would not swallow. So as of Thursday, she stopped eating and drinking, and that she was really put on palliative medication at that point in time, and we were told that she would only have a few days to live. So on Sunday morning, May 18th at 1 o'clock in the morning, she passed in her sleep, which was probably the best for her. And although hard on the rest of us, that is what happened. So we were lucky enough to know that it was coming. My sister, who lives in St. John, was able to be here. Her family who stayed in St. John, she stayed at my house. And so when the call came that Mom had passed, she was at my house, and she just walked across the hall, knocked on the door, let me know it was time, and we were able to be here together. we were also able to start planning, because that's what we do as Lennoxes. When it comes to grief, we either have a very dark sense of humor, which sometimes comes out, and actually certainly comes out when there's lots of people around. We are more the performers, the attention seekers sometimes, where my mother, the Mac side of the family, they aren't that. They aren't the attention seekers. They're the straight shooters. Tell you the way it is, and whether you like it or not, that's the way it is. But so we started planning. We started putting together things that we thought should be in the obituary, finding a picture we're going to need. Who are we going to have to go talk to this week? All these things that have to be planned. Now, my father, because he was a planner too, over a decade ago, paid for all of their funeral arrangements. He wrote his own obituary. My mother hadn't, so we wrote one for her. He had everything meticulously planned, and so a lot of those preparations were done. So we were able to, early in the morning, go over to the home, be there when my father woke up, be the ones to tell him that Mom had died, and walk him through it to make sure that it wasn't a real big shock, and be there if he had any questions. And so he did a few times ask whether Mom was next door, whether her body was still there, and we said no, she'd been taken to the funeral home. And so we reminded him that a couple times. And a couple times we said, do you want to go over? Because they had an adjoining room with a bathroom, so they could connect. Asked if he wanted to go over and see the room. He didn't. So we wouldn't push it. We didn't want to get any extra shock. We didn't want to put him into any more grief that maybe he already was in after losing his wife of 67 years. So that's what we did yesterday. We spent time with him. We went for a drive. We got a cinnamon bun. Just kind of have a treat to get out of the home. Meanwhile, anytime he needed to rest, I was either working on his puzzle, which was a distraction for me. We were doing more planning. We were calling the funeral home, making an appointment, which we had yesterday to plan the funeral. So there is going to be a funeral this coming Saturday, May 14th at 11 o'clock in the morning. So for those of you waiting to have my live stream that will be on next Saturday, I'm going to have to miss my live stream for the first time in 170 odd weeks in a row. But this one is very important, and so Mom comes first, and so we will pick up my regular routine at a later time. So it will be live streamed. There will no obituary going out, and so those people that want to be there, that can't be there, will be able to see it. So we made those arrangements. We're going to still have other things to do, like pick up stuff for the reception and flowers and put together pictures for slideshows and all those sort of things. Hymns have to be picked out. A couple of them we already know, the things that she wanted. Yesterday we were also blessed to have cousins come by. So I have cousin Stephen and Anne who live in Riverview, where my parents are currently living, and they came over yesterday. I have a cousin who lives in Newfoundland, Martin. He happened to be in Nova Scotia at the time, and so he drove up from Nova Scotia and was able to be there. My wife and son came over. My sister Carolyn, her husband and daughter, Anu and Serena, they were able to come up from St. John yesterday, and we'll be here for a couple days. And so we all got together, and we told stories, had memories, not everything about Mom, but as a general thing, where Dad was included and there, and he could tell some stories too, and we could hear some things from different sides of the family, maybe some stories we hadn't heard before too, from different perspectives. So it was really nice. And also, I put out a post on Instagram, and so those people, those friends, family, subscribers, people that maybe follow me on Instagram that I don't even know, started flooding me with positive reassurance, messages of condolence, some stories about my mother of people that had contact. And so that was really encouraging to be able to go through and constantly, I was getting messages, so I would go through and I might just put a love heart or respond with thank you. I wasn't putting big messages, but I did want to acknowledge that I saw it, that I read it, and that it meant a lot to me, to my sister who was getting some of the messages, or I was reading them too, through all the things that you guys were sending me. So although I didn't put out a video yesterday and I didn't have comments to read off that video, I was getting comments through Instagram and so Facebook, and yeah, it was just nice to be able to to have that reassurance that Mom has mean something, and us being around, that you were thinking about me. So I did want to acknowledge that in today's video. Today's video was supposed to be a stamp video. I will do that another time. Captain Tim's book isn't going anywhere, so I will talk about that another day. For right now, it's about Mom. It's about family. And so once again today, I'm going to be going off with my sister. We're going back over to see my father, spend time there, continue to work on arrangements that need to be arranged, and just have that family time. And so if messages come in, I always say leave positive comments. If you leave positive comments on this video or through Instagram or however you know how to contact me, I'll respond when I can, because it is a great encouragement. It is a good distraction for me to be in one's brain and think about what's really happening all the time. Can bring down your spirits. And I don't want to do that. I especially don't want to do that around my father, who will be watching us too, just as carefully, to know that we're all sad, but we are moving forward. We are focusing on the positives, that now that Father is by himself, he will have days that will be harder, but he'll also have times that he won't have to go over and look after my mother like he has been doing. And what I mean by looking after is more like sitting in a room where she's been laying in a bed for weeks, and he would not put the TV on and just watch her the whole time, make sure that she's breathing. It didn't feel like he should be going off and doing other things and being social, that he needed to spend as much time as he could with her. So that's what he was doing. Now he has that time back, that he can do more of the activities that are taking place in the nursing home that he's in. He is an avid puzzler, and so he's had a puzzle on the go for a while. And I've been doing a lot of it, so I'm trying to clean it up, because he's had that puzzle going for a year because he hasn't put the time in to do it. So he can get back to doing puzzling again. I can go in and take him for drives. My sister can go in and take him for drives without feeling guilty that we're leaving Mom there alone, because a lot of times we go in and want to spend time with both of them. So Dad sometimes wasn't getting the attention because he has more activities going on. He can do more things. So now we can do that with him, and we were trying to encourage him about that too, that we can spend that extra time going off and doing things, maybe going getting an ice cream or having a treat along the way, things that he really enjoys to do. He can come over to his house more often. He didn't come at Christmas this year because Mom was not physically capable of doing that, and he didn't want to leave her on Christmas. So they both stayed in the home when we had Christmas dinner here, which was a first for a while, that we didn't have them a part of it. So he can now come to those birthday events and do things here at the house without feeling guilty of leaving Mom behind. So that's going to be encouraging too. Well, that is what I wanted to talk about today. What has been going on here. Over the last while, that's been in the background of my videos. And there's been a lot of days where I've been smiling and encouraging on the videos, and maybe not feeling it 100% behind the scenes. But it's because of you guys that I have that I have this outlet as a way of connecting with people around the world. Some of them that I connect with messages that you communicate back and forth. Others, it's just seeing a view, knowing that someone else has watched it, and that's encouraging as well too. So I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you that take the time to subscribe to my channel, take the time to maybe reach out with a comment on the videos, or send in a postcard if that's what you do, with my addresses that are included, to say that you've been watching, or that you started post-crossing because of watching my channels, or maybe you're a stamp collector as well, or love Lego, or have been to some of the destinations that I've been lucky enough to go to, or just want to talk about what it's like to live in Atlantic Canada, because I'm always happy to share the experience of being a Canadian, and East Coast Canadian, and what it's like to live in the province of New Brunswick. So thank you to everybody that's out there that is continues to encourage me, continues to watch, and yeah, we're going to get through this. This is part of life. We have to go through these ups and downs in life, and life does not last forever. So those of us that are lucky enough to live a long life get to have experiences to share with others, and those of us that haven't had that experience, we hope we make enough memories and impact that people will remember us. So that's where we're at now. That's it for today. Like, follow? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?